YouTube.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? So again, same story as last week. Sorry, we just ate and I definitely have asparagus in my teeth.
Did we do this last week or was it?
Not last week. Oh, I did the same thing as last week where I didn't film anything throughout the week. And then on Saturday, really quick with you, but last week we were in the kitchen. It was like, this is the update. This is what's going on, blah, 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 blah.
Got it.
So we're going to do weekly update, couple questions. That'll wrap this video up. But I think next week, this one's going to be out of town. So I think next week I'm going to try and film a full day of eating, non-training day, and a full day of eating what a training day looks like and post that. But then also have updates and stuff.
Sounds good.
Sounds great. First of all, shout out, because I'm finally wearing something by Dark Sport.
Dark Sport.
Has wolves all over it. Do you want to give your, changes? Do you know any of your changes?
I don't know any of my changes yet.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So I'm still waiting.
Okay, great. Changes to my plan are not that different, right?
No.
My cardio, same amount of sessions. Each session has only been bumped up by 5 minutes. So it's an extra 20 minutes of cardio a week. My non-training days, the food has been cut a decent amount.
Yeah.
Only eating, should I say how many calories I'm eating on non-training days?
Okay, what?
It's 1,100, which is...
That was 1190.
Is that,
It was just under 1200.
Okay, just under 12. So much better.
It's 90 more calories.
I am not getting moody at all, right?
Not at all.
Did you hear my belly?
I did. Your belly was I disagree.
I think with the lack of food, and I've been trying to push myself harder at the gym and just adjusting my sleep because I'm doing all of my cardio in the morning now, and my period is going to start real soon. My energy is lower. My mood has been a little teensy bit more precarious.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay. But that's my update so far. Missy even said that there's 4 weeks left to this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a full month since the challenge started, since I started working with her, since you started prepping. And Missy essentially told me, this is when you're in a competition. I have rice.
So you eat
I have rice in my... By Dark Sport, there's a little food pocket. 4 weeks out, that I thought for sure in my naivety I was gonna have another refeed because I had my refeed last week and my weight went down. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna see that I had a refeed and my weight went down, so I'm gonna have another refeed. And she was like, no, let's deplete you even more, but maybe next week you'll have a refeed. So all I literally keep thinking about day in and day out is a cheesy bowl of pasta. Last night it was chicken Alfredo that I just wanted so bad. Today it was macaroni and cheese that I wanted so bad. If you could eat anything right now, what would you eat?
No, my issue right now is whatever I see, I'm like, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good.
But is there one thing that you're just I could go for this?
I think it's a cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger.
I think it's a good cheeseburger.
Okay.
I think that's what I want right now, but I don't know. We were walking down the grocery store and I was like, oh, look at those cookies. Oh, look at that. We saw something, there was pancakes on TV. I was like, oh, I could eat some pancakes. Yeah. It's just whatever I see, it's that's what I want right now. But I shouldn't complain. It's just... I'm not hungry, I'm just limited, so. That's
the thing. I also want to stress right now, again, that if you're an average person who just wants to lose weight.
Oh, yeah.
This is not what you should be doing.
No.
This is literally the sport of bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's one of those things I like too. If I tell clients that want to lose weight, it's enjoy your meals, just don't do them all the time. Go out and eat with your friends, but we'll do little tips hey, drink a protein shake before you go out and try to eat your protein of your meal first. And then if you're still hungry, eat more. Eat what you like. Get what you want, but just little baby steps, little easy things. It's not... What we're doing is, it's not the healthiest, it's not the best for a mindset. It's a very disciplined thing, and it's because I want to get to 3% body fat. That's what...
Yeah.
So, know your goals, know your priorities.
Mm-hmm. Really quick, too, I'm going to give an update on our...
InBody.
It's been exactly 1 month. If you remember, there's a video where him and I, a month ago, went and we got our body fat tested and all that kind of stuff with an InBody, and we went a month later, which is today, and we got our updates. Do you want to talk about yours first, or do you want me to talk about mine first?
You talk about yours because yours is good.
No, talk about... hold, please! I want to see if there were any differences in our,
I don't think they can hear you.
No, I know. I want to see if there was any differences in, my discrepancies, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No. That's all still, I guess, the only bad thing of this, right?
Is it what you carry too much? Not even
Like my
too
left
much,
leg compared to my right leg and my left arm compared to my right arm.
but they're not off that much. If you like, that's
I
one
know,
of
but
those
there's no like improvement, right?
I mean, let's see, 120. No, if anything, they got worse.
See?
It's not bad.
I know, I'm just
like,
saying. Like the symmetry of my body. So like I'm right-handed, right? So the right side of my body, like I have more muscle on my right arm than my left arm. I have more muscle on my right leg than my left leg, which is common.
Right.
Right, but like how we said the last video, if you're doing bodybuilding, symmetry is a part of that.
Right.
And like you said, it's not terribly off, but it's not.
No.
It's not like bad at
It's
all.
not. That's the thing.
But it is. I was just curious to see if there was a difference.
Any improvement.
Now,
No.
especially because I'm like conscious of it now.
You are, but you're also not doing a lot of like
Single-
single like isolateral
Yeah.
work.
What are we doing? Am I talking about mine first?
Talk about yours first.
So mine first. The first time I did it, my weight was 195.1. My weight now is 188.3. So in a month, that's what?
What, 195?
Yeah,
8 pounds.
8 pounds in a month, which is like
Perfect.
pretty good.
It's like that's a decent accelerated weight loss. 2 pounds a week is.
Yeah.
It's accelerated, but it's not to the point where it's too
Like
much.
too much, and we can see that when we talk about. So like my body fat has gone from 36.3 down to 33.9, which is almost 3.
Yeah.
It's a little
3%.
less. 3%.
Or, sorry, 3 pounds. Like
No, that's
3%. Yeah. So which is like, but where it is like you lost essentially all body fat.
Yeah, because then if you see, I'm gonna hold this up here for just a second, and so that top line is my weight. You can see it's going down, down. The second one is my muscle mass, and then the third one is my body fat. That has also gone down. So while losing 8 pounds and almost 3% body fat, my muscle mass has stayed exactly the same. I don't know if you can see that. 69.4 the first time, 69.4 this time, which is like science, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you lose weight, yes, you'll lose fat, but you usually always lose muscle too.
Right.
I've lost 8 pounds and I haven't lost any muscle.
Right.
So essentially I've lost fat,
Yeah. You've
Right?
literally just lost fat, which is
like
amazing.
right? Doesn't happen a lot. You don't see it a lot. I think it's probably because at the gym I'm consciously like pushing myself way more. Like I'm going to failure a lot more. I'm not being a little like, why am I only thinking of bad words?
No, essentially like before it was you'd go to like it got hard failure, and
Yeah.
now you're like struggling through. Form degenerates a little bit, but like
Still
there's
pushing through.
yeah, still pushing through. So there's technical failure and there's like true failure.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where sometimes technical failure is the right way to do it, but in bodybuilding, sometimes you got to push it a little bit further. And usually it's in like a machine or a dumbbell or something like that. Where
So it's
like,
not safe.
yeah, where it's like yeah, you're gonna push a little extra hard on this machine, and like you might shake, you might stop, or whatever. It might slow down, but that's fine because we're gonna push to like true failure.
Yeah. And I do this might be helpful for some people, and I'm going to preface it with, it feels silly saying it, but when you're in the moment, it feels great, and it's what gets me through, is whether I'm doing HIIT. So if I'm doing like HIIT cardio, and I only have like 2 rounds left, and I feel like I am like, that's where I'm done. Or like today I was doing leg curls, and I had to do 4 sets of 12, which isn't terribly like a lot of reps, but each one was until failure. So the weight had to be high enough for me to fail by my 12th rep. I literally, like those last couple reps, or that last round, I'm literally in my head going like, this is where the average person stops. Like, Christy Ross, you are not average. Like, you are not average. You're not going to reach your goals, like, if you quit right now. If you want to exceed your expectations, if there's people out there who don't think you can do this, if you want to prove them that, like, they're wrong, this is where you have to push right now.
Yeah.
And that helps me, so. I used to be the person that was like, if you can't handle the pain of this workout, you're never going to be able to handle pushing out a kid out of your... I don't know if that's going to happen, but anyway. You want to talk about yours?
Well, all right, yeah. So, the difference between ours is, and this is essentially one of the downsides of like in-body scans or any kind of electrical impedance body fat tests, is they're easy to fool in a sense. Like, so Christy did it right because she did the same exact thing, ate the same stuff pretty much, and went in with the same amount of food. I went in with an extra meal, different times, more liquids, and it threw everything off. In a sense, where like I'm down 9 pounds in a month.
Also really good.
Yeah, but my body fat went up, and my muscle mass went down. So,
But also, that being said, though, your muscle mass going down isn't like abnormal in a situation like this.
no, but it's also like you do the visual assessment as well. I can say, if I went back and did this tomorrow, fasted, I'm sure my body fat would be much lower. It's unfortunately, like the more food or liquid you have in it, it's going to be read as body fat, kind of. So that's why it's definitely not exactly the same. Like it's probably not your exact body fat, but if you do it the same way each time, it's going to be a good metric for you to follow and realize that, okay, let's say like mine was at 15% and went up to 16%. But if I did calipers, it was 11%. Mm-hmm. So am I somewhere in between there? Probably. But as long as you're doing it the same way every time, it doesn't matter your exact perfect body fat percentage, as long as you can read it and say, okay, I'm making progress in this way, or I'm going backward in this way. So that's what the issue is, with mine. Is though it's cool to see that I was down 9 pounds, I do know that like I came in completely differently and it showed. So
I thought you were the same last time, but completely different the first time.
No, the first time it was different too, but last time it was my last one by myself.
Oh.
So I had only had the one meal in, and it was only like a shake.
Okay.
And some peanut butter beforehand.
Okay.
But this time I had 2 full, like I had, what was it? So my breakfast. So first I woke up and did fasted cardio. Then I had 2 eggs, 9 ounces of egg whites, 40 grams of oats, and a protein shake. And then a couple hours later, I ate 90 grams of cream of rice with 2 scoops of protein beforehand. Mm-hmm. Drank intra-carbs, EAAs, and so like it was just, there was a lot more in me.
Right.
Which is, and I can also tell you that I weighed in on my scale at 204.8 this morning, and then weighed there at 207.7. So it's all on variance. It's just like you got to just do the same thing each time if you want your metrics to be in order.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so that's our in-body stuff. We have a few questions, which I've gathered from either comments or like questions people have asked me. I've seen other people ask on different things that we're going to try and answer ourselves.
Okay. What are the things you want to improve the most before competing? For me, my posing is hot garbage.
Same.
I just never posed.
It's not hot garbage, though.
I've just never posed before, and it's still one of those things where I feel awkward doing it. I gotta feel less awkward doing it. And then I'm just waiting. I'm trusting the process and knowing my physique's gonna come out. But even today, I took a picture doing a front double bicep, and I was like, oh, when I don't have this little extra layer, when my abs are out and I'm leaner, this will look so much cooler than the way I'm doing it now. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I hold the muscle mass and lose more body fat and when I lean out, and I still have at least probably like about 20 pounds to go. Yeah.
And what,
14 weeks from today.
Yeah, I was thinking like the calendar switches to 13/6 tomorrow.
Right. So today is 14 weeks out. I probably have about 20 more pounds to lose. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot in that amount of time.
Between 185 and 190
while trying to keep on as much muscle as possible.
Right.
But according to your in-body testing, that's not happening.
Nope. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's, I think, my biggest issue right now is just posing, and like I don't feel like I have an issue adhering to the food. I like the workouts.
David is really good at like when I'm eating, I'm like, I want more, or I'd rather eat something different, or like this isn't good enough. If you at least come across like, nope, this is my food. Like, I feel like I have a bigger emotional attachment to food than what you do.
Yeah, probably.
Like, like I was talking about pasta, right? Like, eating pasta makes me happy. Whereas I feel like you can put, like, rice and ground beef in front of you, and you're like, this is great. I can eat this every day. And I'm like, we're at that point where I'm like, I like having the meal plan, but I'm like, it's the same things. It's not bringing me happiness. I want to eat something that makes me feel good.
Yeah. No, I still, like I said, I think it's one of those ones where I'm like, it'd be nice to eat something else, and that's kind of where I'm like, oh, that would be cool. Oh, that looks good. But ultimately, I'm still around 3,600 calories to like a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on leg day or upper body day.
That's crazy.
And I'm losing weight on it, so it's working. So I'm trusting the process, but it's one of those things where now I'm like, oh, that'd be cool, that'd be nice, but I'm not really frustrated or worried about it yet.
Right. And I think, like I said, I think posing is one. I have 2. Posing is the one. Because and like I'm watching videos and I'm finding tips that are helping me. Mm-hmm. But it's like if you follow me on Instagram, like I posted the other day, you took a video of me posing at the gym, and it's not even like I'm embarrassed that there's people there, right? Because I did it in front of people and I wanted to do it. Like that didn't bother me. But you can tell as I'm doing. I'm still learning it, so there's a lot of pauses and whatever. But I'm like looking down and I'm thinking, right? I'm not like up and like, hey, you know what I mean? I'm very much like, what do I do next? Where do I hit? Where do I put my arm? Where do I put my leg? Like that kind of thing.
Yep.
My other one is, I think we surround ourselves by a good bunch of people. There's people at work, almost all of my people at work know that I'm doing this. Like good friend coworkers know that I'm doing this, and they're like, oh, that's so cool. Some people at church know that we're doing it, but I think it's hard if my parents are watching this, love you, peace. It's hard to navigate, like after church, we go over to lunch at my parents. And, when people cook for you, it's rude to be like, sorry, I'm not going to eat this. Like, it is, right? Overall, generally. So I internally struggle because my mom cooks. My mom cooks delicious food. Again, for me, it's kind of like that emotional time, like we're with family, enjoy it. Like, so that, like, is hard for me. Right. And then it's also like, I don't think, my parents aren't not supportive, but I don't think.
They don't understand it. They're not like.
Or at least yet.
Yeah, it's just like, honestly, most people are just like, why would you do that? I don't want to do that, so why would you do that?
Which they've never said.
Right.
But like my mom has said, I think it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
Because it's also like, well, why can't you be dessert? Why can't you eat, you know what I mean?
Right.
All that being said, please don't stop making us food.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that like I struggle with too.
Right. Next one is current workout split and way of training. Mine is more of a body part split. It's very more intensity right now. A lot of things, almost everything's done to failure. So it's a lot of warm-up set, fail between 8 to 12 reps, fail between 12 to 15 reps. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of that stuff. It's very different from what I'm used to doing, but I feel it, and I can see some of the results. Like when I train shoulders, I start to see striations coming out. When I did arms today, and they didn't look awful.
Yeah, and they felt real hard. I felt this big old bicep.
But so it's different for me, and it's just another style, and I'm learning even in bodybuilding style workouts, there's different types of bodybuilding styles. So this is just another new one for me, and I've liked it so far. So we'll see if it changes. I've been doing the same. It's a 2-week split. So I've done it twice through now. So I've been doing the same workouts for a month. We'll see if it changes or if I just keep plugging away at the same things.
Yeah. Mine is, I'm following a John Meadows program right now, which like anybody can find online and do, essentially. He started doing John Meadows programs a year? 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when you started to get into bodybuilding, right?
Yeah, I tried to do my own at first.
Yeah.
Like probably about 2.5 to 3 years ago, I tried to do my own bodybuilding stuff because I thought I could do it because I did a lot of strength programming and powerlifting workouts, and I have a decent sense of athletic programming, but then I realized I don't have a clue what bodybuilding is, and just, I don't know. So it was just one of those things where I was like, I know hypertrophy, I know how to do this, and then I realized I didn't. So I started looking into John Meadows programs.
John Meadows, he won the Olympia, right?
He did not win the Olympia.
He did not, but he competed a lot.
He competed a lot. He was,
the
he won
212 or Open?
I can't remember. I think but like I know he won like the Arnold Classic one year.
Okay. So like,
and he trained a lot. Literally, he trained Missy Truscott.
He trained my coach for the longest time, Brooke Walker, if you know who that is. Did he train dudes or was it primarily?
Yeah, no, he trained Fouad.
Oh yeah.
He trained he's one of those dudes that was like big.
He was a sought after
coach.
Yeah.
And it was one of those dudes that like he, not only was he a bodybuilder, but he was strong. He worked with Dave Tate on certain things too. So lots of carryover. So I did his programming a lot and really liked it. And then I worked and did some like Ben Pekulski kind of stuff, which is more mechanical tension, and I learned from that. And now I'm doing this kind of way too. So I've worked with different things and had like some bodybuilders and bodybuilding coaches put me through a workout here and there, and it was just good stuff to learn and pick and choose from. And now it's so I'm building up, I guess, my repertoire and seeing how I handle it.
Oh, go ahead. Continue.
Was that so ridiculous?
No, it's not.
My repertoire?
No, that's not even what I'm chuckling about.
But yeah, and Chrissy's doing Creeping Death too.
Yeah, getting back to my answer.
Which is
all I've gotten so far is I'm doing a John Meadows program.
Yeah, and then you started asking.
Well, no, but then like you started doing John Meadows stuff, and then he suddenly passed away. And he passed away. Not that it's a good time for anybody to pass. Like it was very unexpected. People were like in the middle. I think it was only like 6 weeks out from the Olympia. So he was like training people, and they were in the like peak of training with him as a coach. So all those people also had to like suddenly get new coaches and kind of shift while grieving this man that apparently everybody loved, right? But getting to the point, John Meadows has a very big repertoire of workout programs. I'm doing Creeping Death 2. which is a push-pull legs. Push-pull legs. It's supposed to be 6 workouts a week. The first push-pull legs are supposed to be like heavy
Yeah.
days. And then it's push-pull legs, but like a pump only. But what I end up doing is, because I only lift 5 days a week, I'll do like push-pull legs, push-pull, wrap the leg workout around to next week. And then go back to the heavy push-pull legs to like wrap it around. So instead of it being a 12-week program?
Yeah.
It's going to be like a 14-week program or something like that. Missy approves that. She still does quite a few John Meadows programs, but I did just learn that her husband does a lot of her training now. Programs a lot of her training now.
Nice.
So that's what I'm doing, along with still the like 2 days of cardio, or 2 days of HIIT cardio, 4 days of regular cardio. Does that answer that?
Yeah. Most annoying gym behaviors.
This is your opportunity, David Ross, I think, to like... I'm going to preface this with where you work now is, like, great.
Yeah.
You're going to find your little, like, why are you doing bicep curls while standing right in front of the dumbbell thing when, like, people need to get in there and get dumbbells? Like, back up and let people get in there, right? But, like, where we go now is, like, head and shoulders above where we went before.
As far as gym etiquette goes, yeah.
Etiquette.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I think I'd rather take etiquette and, like, people in a gym over, like, equipment at a gym. Like, if you have a squat rack, some dumbbells, and maybe a few machines, like, yeah, I can get by with that, but if everybody's a big old weenie, like, I don't want to go there.
No, it's true. I think the culture of a gym is very important, too, and that's one of the reasons why I like, and now technically work at the gym we go to now. But there's certain things, like, for the most part, people are there good. Like, the putting away your equipment when you're done, like, most people do that there. Mm-hmm. There is apparently a couple people where I'll come in the morning at 7 a.m. and I'll find a sled completely loaded halfway in the middle of the floor.
I forgot to unload the hack squat when I was done today.
That's not good. But that's not good.
It was an accident, though. Like, right. I don't typically do that. I normally, like, put people's crap away.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a big one. But so the things we noticed at the gym, and literally I just had a discussion with someone who's 9 out of 10 one of the nicest guys you ever meet. But he was a little flustered today talking to me about, like, the one thing was hogging a rack for, like, 2 hours. A guy apparently the other day was hogging the rack for, like, 2 hours when you only have 2 squat racks. And he was just taking, like, his sweet time. No one could really work in. And it's rude. Like, you don't need 2 hours of deadlifts. You know, I mean, like, you don't need 20 minutes in between sets. And it was it wasn't just, like, constant work. It was talking, moving in between, coming back, doing a set. It was just, like, don't hog equipment like that.
Which, to some people's defense at the gym that we're at right now, I mean, they're looking at getting more 45-pound plates. But, like, if you're doing a leg press, there, you're using almost all the 45s.
I've literally used all the 45s.
Which is, so it's like, but you're also not spending an hour using them.
No, and it's one of those things where, like, if I have to leg press that heavy, I'm, like, walking around like, hey, you're not using anything. I can slow down reps. I can do stuff that I could add band tension if I needed to. I'll find other ways, but I've only had to use all the plates, like, once. But it's, but it's just don't hog equipment. Like, especially if you see other people needing it. Like, if you're doing something specific, use it. But, like, again, it was just 2 hours was too long. Mm-hmm. And it's one person taking their sweet time. It's not, if you're actively doing something for 2 hours, that's incredible, that's awesome. Probably it's too long and you should work on your programming, but, so just don't hog equipment. Realize other people need to use stuff too. The other one I have is for the young lovers. Don't make out at the gym. Like,
there's a difference between, like, when I come to the gym after work and I see you, like, for the first time, I'm like, hi, how you doing?
Right.
But, like, there was this one couple the other day that was just like, and
it's
just
one of those things where it's like, and it's not just happened once. It's happened several times, and it's like I've never personally seen it yet, but I've had several people come to me and being like, dude, this is just gross, this is awful. And I'm like, still figuring out, because it's been my 3rd week there now, right? It's only been 3 weeks there that I've been doing. Is it 2 or 3?
Yeah, since you started your cut, right?
Or even, like, a little bit later. So it was the 2nd week of January, sorry, because I couldn't do the 1st week of January because I was traveling.
That's right. Wow,
so,
I feel like you've been there forever.
So, because I could do my day job anywhere, I do this job and I do training and nutritional consulting there and do my day job from the office. But because I'm just, like, essentially hired on help, I'm not an employee of the gym. I'm doing outside contracting. But
he's still taking online clients, right?
Yeah, sure.
Are you?
Yeah, I can.
Again, I'll put his Instagram here. If you need personal training in person or virtually, or nutrition consultation stuff.
Yeah, we can do that. But so people come to me and I was like, there's not much I can do because I don't technically work for the gym, but dude, that's dumb. It's gross. Like, grow up. Realize that like nobody wants to see all of that. That you're at a gym where people are coming to work. Like people are coming to work out.
And it's
like,
usually around like when I'm there, so it's like the people who work their day jobs and they're like, okay, time to work. It's not like a bunch of high schoolers are like goofing off. It's like adults, mature adults, ready to like get in there and get their workout in because I'm so much better.
But so that's it. Like there's people with like I've seen people with dips in their mouth while they're working out, and I'm like, that's just gross.
I feel like that also like it's not.
No, there's like you can go into the whole. There is some benefit for nicotine and performance enhancement and stuff like that, but it's also just it seems unsanitary. I don't know. Like I don't know. I just think it's gross. Let's see. Other than that, I feel like I was the guy who didn't like posing, but like if you're gonna do bodybuilding, you have to do posing.
So we're those people in between sets. We're like,
but it's just more than anything, it's just be conscientious of other people, be respectful. If someone wants to work in and it's not going to completely ruin what you're doing, let them work in. If you see someone working in, be brave enough to go or working out. Say, hey, can I work in? Like, help each other out, grow each other. Like this gym, I haven't seen anyone like literally bash anyone or tell someone that like
the overall culture is really good.
It is really good. So like, I don't hear a whole bunch of. I guess so. The other one too, and like Christy kind of brought it up today, is if a woman's using
this. I was going to talk about.
Oh, you can do it then. Go ahead.
I think this is what you were going to say though. How it was like there have been a couple times, and this is like any gym, so it's not like where you work. And I think this is one of those things that I think you're seeing more because you're working with more women.
Yeah.
So you're hearing more of like things that women complain about. Whether you like experience it or see it though, you're hearing about it more. Is like I'll be working out and like David will walk by for a second and like chat with me, and I'll be using a piece of equipment and he's there, and some guy will come up to him and be like, "Hey, bro, are you using this?" And I want to be like, "Yo, you clearly see me. I'm the one using it. He's not even working out. Why are you asking him when you should be asking me?" And I don't think guys are necessarily like, I'm not gonna ask her because she's a lady, but like it's happened at least 5 times to me. And they always ask you, "Are you using this? Are you using this?" And I'm just like.
And like I said, when I do it, I try to say we. Like,
yeah.
And which because I don't want to also be like, I feel like I was like, no, she's not. I don't want to like start crap just to start crap.
Right.
But it was one of those things, and I've seen it for a while. I remember like, over 10 years ago when I ran a GNC. When I started my training, I was working in a store where, literally my first day, and I was training under this. She actually did a bikini competition. So this tiny girl who also happens to be incredibly knowledgeable and know her stuff, but they walked up to me and said like, "Hey, what protein powder do I want to do this and this?" And I was like, I hadn't known the story yet. I didn't know their stock. I didn't know what they had. But they came up to me, even though she and I were talking, and they asked me specifically.
Yeah, that's how I felt like today.
Yeah. And just to mention, I was also only 170 pounds at the time. I was like 40 pounds lighter than I am now. I wasn't like big or anything either. So like, it's just, I don't know what the deal is, but don't be afraid to talk. Like, women know crap too. Women can be strong.
And that's we went somewhere and it was like 2 dudes, you and a dude and me, having a conversation. Well, I was trying to be a part of the conversation, but it was, they were talking about supplements and pre-workout and lifting, and I was trying to do, when there's a 3-person conversation and you're trying to get involved, so you like try and say something, but it's instantly like shut down, right?
So this dude also had a habit of like, he was a yeller. Like he didn't control his voice, but he also like, and I get what she's saying because it did happen, but also like he would talk over me in the middle of the sentence too.
Yeah.
He would just start like interrupting, and it was very much he didn't seem bad, but it was just like, I want to tell you how smart I am. I want to tell you how this I am and how this I am, and I'm like,
okay, sorry, there was too much. Well, now you can see that. Oh well, there was too much crap on my recording device that I had to delete. But just like I always tell people, like, whether you're a dude or not, or like a guy or a girl or whatever, it's like common courtesy to like talk to don't be a crappy person. Like, yeah. There's still, the only other thing that bothers me is like I don't wear headphones when I work out because I like to hear these conversations and stuff. And like if people are chatting, like I want to chat to them. I want to be kind of approachable and like friendly at the gym. But like you still hear all the conversations about like women, oh, they should only be lifting the 5-pound dumbbells, and that's how they'll really get toned and look how they want. And like guys are the ones normally saying this. And a lot of times it's guys who aren't like shredded, like they look fine, but if you know the secret to how like women should look, maybe you should figure out what the secret is for yourself and work on that. That's my thoughts. Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else?
No. And also, don't be the guy who blames genetics on everything.
Genetics do play a part, but it's a very,
Right.
very, very, very small part.
So like,
You can manipulate your metabolism.
it undermines the work that people put in. Yes, genetics play a part, but don't be like, well, if I had genetics, I would do. I was like, you don't work that hard. Like, if you're putting in a level and you're like, okay, elite level bodybuilder, and like, oh, my bicep head is I have more of a long bicep head.
That's
like
our
a short
glutes.
peak.
So for women, glutes
Like-
is like, do you have long hamstring inserts or like short?
Right.
Because that also makes your actual like butt cheeks look either long or like, you know.
But when you blame it on not being able to get like jacked or strong or whatever, that's when I get frustrated. And it was literally like someone literally today said to me that like we were talking about mobility, and I showed like my mobility and how I'm trying to improve it. And they were like, and someone was like, "Oh man, this old guy's walking circles around me in the mobility." And another guy was just like, "Genetics, man. Genetics play a lot of." I was like, or the 10 years I've been putting into my mobility and effort into like making sure I'm healthy while doing all this stuff.
And people tend to use like a big one, right? Is like, oh, I can't lose weight because I'm genetically predisposed. Like my parents are overweight, so I'm overweight. And the truth is, like, we use that as an excuse too much of the time. Because if you don't follow through on dieting or cutting or even bulking or building muscle, like it subconsciously gives you an out to like, well, I'm not achieving my goals, or I have failed not because I can't control myself or something because I did, but it's because of like this external thing that I can't control at all. Because it's also like, hey, your metabolism, you can manipulate your metabolism.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes it's just like, hey, you know what? You're going to have to work harder than that other person. And that just is what life is. Sometimes you have to work harder.
Tough love. From the Rosses. Anything else?
The last thing was, what TV shows are we watching?
Oh, that's a fun question. Yeah, what TV shows are we, because with all of our spare time, this is what people will ask me, like, what are you watching on TV? Did you finish this? Did you watch this movie? And I'm like, bros, I'm at home for like an hour and a half at night. I'm not just like, I don't know. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I get home around 6:37. I go to bed by 8:39. Like, I don't have all this spare time to just like watch TV.
Yep.
I think there's two things that we watch regularly, right? And that's AEW wrestling. And we're behind on that. And like Married at First Sight.
Right. And then we have you started trying to watch The Bachelor.
Oh yeah, so I'm always behind on, like, at least an episode behind on The Bachelor, even though I still try and watch it.
And then I've tried to start watching My Hero Academia in the mornings when I eat my breakfast before I go. And that's been about it.
But even getting through one episode takes like a chunk of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's not that there's a bunch of TV shows that I don't want to watch. There's a whole list of stuff. Like, we still got to finish the last little part of the Ozark. We got to finish Dead to Me is out there.
Big Sky again.
The Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
The new season of that's out.
No, and there's plenty of things that, like, on top of that, we want to start. Like, we literally have a whole list, but it's just...
What's the one everybody's talking about right now? The Last of Us?
Last of Us, which is on HBO Max.
I know.
Which is based off a video game.
Yeah, I know. We should watch it.
Yeah, because we don't have HBO Max.
We can.
I'm not spending another...
$100 on a... Okay, anything else?
No,
I think that's it for us. Yeah, we gotta go.
Buy food.
Look at, I'm just, because it's obvious, I'm just gonna point out that bad boy right now. And this one too.
So I'm staying back here.
Ah, I love you. Thanks for chatting with me and them and us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably do this again at some point. Okay, bye.